I'm Sarah.
I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Sherwin.
And this is David. He's not here right now, so this is what he looks like.
Just put mine on.
So the diet we're doing is clean eating, and clean eating is a generic term for eating healthy by opting for minimally processed foods. In other words, it's a sound approach to eating well and maximizing energy. So it's more of a lifestyle change than a diet. And the main rules of the diet were to target clean, natural foods such as vegetables and fruits.
So some of the rules, like he said, are vegetables, plants, fruits, basically as natural as a food can come. That's what your ideal is. So in the grocery store, you'd be shopping the perimeter. Whole meats, preferably grass-fed and free range, such as chicken, duck, venison, whole grains, wheat, quinoa, oatmeal, steel-cut oats, not the quick oats, barley, brown rice, farro, nuts, seeds, sprouted bread like Ezekiel. Basically no processed or packaged foods, and you want to limit your sodium and added sugar. The natural sweeteners that are allowed are honey, maple syrup, stevia, brown rice syrup, and coconut sugar. And then as far as dairy, you want low or full fat is preferable. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, blocked cheese, and coconut, almond, soy, and rice milk. And then limiting your caffeine and soda intake and alcohol, and then preferring water and tea and coffee instead.
Some of our goals for the diet were to know what we were actually eating. So in processed foods, there's a bunch of ingredients that you don't know what it actually is. So with clean eating, you want to know what you're eating. We want to lose some weight and inches on our waist. And sleep better, that was a big one. Processed foods, you don't really feel good when you eat them. You just don't sleep good when you don't feel good. And more satiety after meals. When you make your own food, it tastes better, and you just feel better after you eat it.
Alright guys, so far day one hasn't been that bad. I had lunch, now it's time for a snack. And the reason I'm recording this is my very first salad, so that'd be fun to record this and yeah, see how this goes. I got some lettuce, cucumber, some other green stuff, carrots, some tomatoes, so gonna give it a shot. Go with some lettuce first. This, I don't know how people do this. Try tomato. I never eat tomatoes. Oh. Alright, so I just finished the salad. It wasn't too bad. I ate everything except for the tomatoes. So day one, so far so good.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about why my trial wasn't successful. First of all, I was going through a moving process when we started the diet. Moved from my own apartment into a house with a whole bunch of other people. And I tried really hard at first to buy the fresh fruits and veggies and meats and stuff, and meal prep for the week. But I quickly learned that was pretty hard to keep stored in the refrigerator since there wasn't that much space for it, and other people would get into it before I could eat it, things like that. And when I did try to store stuff in my own area, in my own room, things spoiled pretty quickly, so it didn't really work for me. Other than that, getting my hands on the food wasn't as hard. I did try to go to farmers markets on the weekends to buy from local people, especially for my eggs and fruits and vegetables. Other than that, I tried this diet a few months ago before we did it in class, and I was pretty successful at doing it. A good tip that I would say was to meal prep once a week as much as you could, just to keep yourself on track and know what you have in your fridge at home. That way you're not trying to quickly figure something out and then hating yourself because you don't like the food that you get. And I lost 10 pounds doing it. So, but yeah. All right. So part of the clean eating diet is making your own food at home. And today for lunch, I made a chicken salad. I grilled up some breast chicken on the stove. I didn't use any oil or butter. And then I used some Italian Perfect Pinch seasoning, which has a few ingredients on the back: basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, savory, and sage. And then I threw some pepper on there. And instead of dressing, I just squeezed some lime juice on it to give it so it's not so dry. And did some fresh bell peppers chopped up in there, put about a quarter of a tomato. And this is the spring mix that I used. I bought this at Winco. It's pretty cheap, $5. Yields a few salads. And then because I like my sweets, I'm gonna have some fresh watermelon at the end.
So I really enjoyed the clean eating diet. I found that it wasn't too hard of a stretch from where I currently had been eating, so that was encouraging to jumpstart into it. Some of my goals were to lose a few pounds, to maybe see some inches lost, or my clothes be a little looser. And overall, I have a really bad sweet tooth, so I wanted to see those sugar cravings go down. I have an addiction to Starbucks, and so as a mom, I can't really give up caffeine, but I was able to modify a drink that was clean and that I also enjoyed, so that was a win. My results, I lost about 5 pounds, and I lost about 2% in body fat, and I made some switches that I will carry on going forward, such as Greek yogurt. We will probably use that in place of sour cream. I didn't notice a difference, and it was a healthier switch. I like to bake, so instead of oil, I decided to use applesauce, and I felt like it added to the recipe as opposed to taking away from it, so that was fun. And I also really loved the zucchini noodles. I felt like I could put those as a base for a taco salad or a spaghetti salad, and if I decided to go back for seconds, I didn't feel guilty. Same goes with the spaghetti squash. So overall, I really enjoyed it, and I felt that my sweet tooth went down because as I had a few cheats here and there, I felt like crap afterwards. So it was encouraging to decide to decline the sugary treat because I knew I was going to feel crappy afterwards. So by changing my mentality to I can have that, but I don't want it, as opposed to I can't have it, but I really want it, that was more mental for me, and so I like that. So overall, I enjoyed it, and I am trying to continue it.
Hey guys, David here with Team Clean, here to talk to you a little bit about my experience these past 30 days eating only clean foods. So over the clean eating diet, my goal was really to stop eating processed foods, really focusing on eating healthier snacks. So my major meals have always been fairly good, always consisting of some good macromolecule groups, the proteins, the fats, the carbs, all homemade. So that's been good. But in terms of the snacking, that's where I really was weak, and that was the point of this diet for me. And some of the challenges along the way is that it was just really hard not to give in to eating empty carbs. So for my snacking, it was always kind of eating pretzels and Eggo waffles and stuff like that. But along this diet, I actually started finding alternatives, like eating fruits, eating vegetables. I started eating more nuts, and I started to notice good things. So some of the results that I noticed was that I had less GI upsets, I had better bowel movements, I had less bloating. So all in all, it definitely worked out, and I would recommend it to anyone to do. Some of the results that I had was that I actually gained 1 pound, and I don't think it's because I gained like fat. I think it's because I was working out, weightlifting more consistently that month and a half, and I think it was a muscle gain. But in any case, I hope this a minute spiel kind of convinced you that it's a good idea to get involved in the clean eating diet, and I think you definitely benefit from it. All right. Peace.
Alright guys, back in the kitchen for the clean eating diet, except this morning we're going to be having some good old-fashioned oatmeal. Why oatmeal? Because it has some good soluble and insoluble fibers, and those fibers, they help decrease cholesterol, and they can really stabilize glucose levels in the blood. So as you guys can see, we have some good old-fashioned oatmeal. But one of the problems linked with it, as noted on the chronometer.com, is it can have a pretty high concentration of omega-6 to omega-3, therefore causing the inflammatory response in the body. So in order to minimize that, we're going to actually compensate with some chia seeds and some flax seeds. And then that, because these have a higher omega-3 concentration, so it'll kind of balance out. And then in addition to that, we can add some good berries, and those berries will have some antioxidant properties. And to top it off with some sweetness, we will have some organic raw honey.
Alright guys, one of my biggest expectations with this diet was that I was going to lose a lot of weight. I had to cut out a lot of processed foods that I like to eat, like cookies, ice cream, pizza, just shit like that. And I replaced them mostly with fruits and like nuts and vegetables. Honestly, the diet wasn't that hard for me since I already cook pretty much everything I eat. I have a lot of time on my hands to cook, so cooking is not a big deal, but you see how like if you're working a lot or whatever, you're just too busy to cook, it'll be way easier just to go like In and Out and get some burgers instead of going home and cooking. But that wasn't a problem for me. And anyway, here's some before and after pictures. Class, for lunch today I'm having some rice and spinach with chicken, and then for dessert I'm having strawberries. The reason I like to have strawberries after this is just because I used to always eat cookies, but I can't eat cookies on this diet, and strawberries just, they're really sweet, which is like kind of dessert for me. Yeah.